Hey everyone, it's Tanya from my fancy design shop, and today I'm going to show you my new Galaxy brushes for Procreate. So I'm really excited about this because I do have in the set a few lettering brushes as well as pattern brushes that you can use for just digital art. So as you can see here, I used my Glow Galaxy brush for the lettering, and for the background, I use the pattern brush. So I'm just going to do a quick overview of all the different brushes and then some tips and tricks. Okay, so for the different brushes, we have the dark Galaxy brush. Now with these, each of the patterns are a little bit different. So if you can see here, it has a little bit of that texture and some stars in it. You also have the monoline version. You have a light Galaxy brush, which is a little bit lighter in the texture of it. It is pressure sensitive. You have a monoline as well. You have the regular Galaxy brush that has a little bit of like a darker edge to it. And then you have the Glow brush, which I'm going to change the color. It does come with a Galaxy palette as well as a Glow palette. And usually with the Glow brush, the darker the color, the better. You have that. So those are the 4 different brushes. It also comes with a monoline version. And then with all of the versions, it comes with the My Magic. So which means that it will change color automatically as you apply pressure and with each stroke. So we'll just kind of do the alphabet. As you can see, it's changing color as you apply pressure, and with each stroke, it's going to go clockwise on the color wheel. So you see I have this dark purple, it's going to slowly go to the green range. So that's with all the different lettering brushes as well. Now what I want to show you next for a little tip is, you see with these, you will see where the strokes overlap. There's 2 ways to fix this. So the first way is, I'm just going to stick with this brush. I'm using the Dark Galaxy, the magic one. So the first way is to kind of letter as you go. When you lift up your Apple Pencil, open up a new layer, do that, lift up your Apple Pencil, start a new layer, and you do that. So you're going to work in layers. And then what you will do is grab your, just an eraser. I have it as set as a monoline. And you can erase the overlap areas like that. Go to the next layer, which is the B, erase that. And then when you're all done, you can merge all 3 layers together. Okay, so another way, if you don't want to work in layers, here I'm going to just kind of start lettering. And it's all in one layer. What you can do now is click on the smudge tool, grab the color blender, and you can work with the opacity. I like to keep it on the lower end of it, keep the brush size small. You're not going to alpha lock this layer, but what you can do is now kind of go back and smudge the colors a bit, and just make sure you don't go on the outside of your lettering, because that will happen. So you kind of want to just stay within your lettering, which is why you might want to work with the opacity and the size of the brush. Don't worry so much if you have like this area, because when we start adding the texture stamps and the stars, you can kind of like camouflage it or cover it up. So let me just finish this off, and you know what, I'm going to keep this and show you the texture stamps and the stars next. Okay, now that I have smudged the areas, I'm going to show you how to use the texture stamps. So what you want to do is add a new layer. You're going to change it to a clipping mask, and what you're going to do is change the layer setting. So you just tap on the little, it's going to be an N. So you tap on that, and you're going to go all the way down to overlay. And with this, the texture layer, you're going to work with either black or white. Black will give you a darker color of what's already on, and white will give you the lighter. Okay, so we have our lettering layer, our clipping mask set to overlay. We're going to start with the color black. We're going to use one of these 3 texture stamps. So we'll start with the first one. I like to keep the opacity rather low. You can change the size, and what you're gonna do, see that size is a little bit too big, is you're gonna tap it. So you see how it kind of just started adding texture. And you're gonna just randomly tap it around. Now, if you want a lighter version then, for some dimension, just grab the color white. You can use the same stamp or one of the other ones. And you're gonna start tapping around very randomly. And this is also when you can kind of camouflage those areas that you smudged the strokes. And then I'll show you what this last one, and then let's try that in black as well. So we have that. So that gave it more texture to give it more of a galaxy effect. So this is without, and then this is with. Then what you can do is add another clipping mask, grab white, and you're gonna start adding just all of your stars. So I like to use the splatter stamps for like a cluster of stars. So what I'll do is with the lettering, you gotta keep it kind of small. And you can just kind of do clusters of stars, and then you can even make it a little bit bigger and do randomly. There's the stars brush. You can kind of just color right over, and another stars brush, which is a smaller version. I do have a galaxy letter texture overlay. Now these two brushes are mainly for your galaxy lettering, not if you're going to use do a landscape. So the trick for these are to use them on like an overlay layer. So you're going to add a clipping mask again, change that layer setting to overlay, and with the color black, you are going to color over your entire lettering like this. So that is one. That is the overlay one. And what you can do also is just bring down the opacity too, so you just get a little bit more texture, which is this one. And you're going to color right over it. You're going to bring down the opacity a little, and you see how it just kind of gives it more of like that darker look. Another option you can is duplicate the layer on the bottom layer, change that to multiply, and then you might want to just bring the opacity a little bit down. So this is without and this is with. Okay, so with the regular galaxy brushes, I'm just going to do AB to be easy. What you can do is alpha lock it, use the monoline brush, which is right here, and you can just color it in. You have your colors, and then you can do a Gaussian blur to blur it out, and then you can start adding all your textures and everything. So a trick with the glow brush to add color blends, so you have this. If you alpha locked it and just started coloring, it's not gonna, let's see, where's my mono? You're gonna lose that glowness, right? Or the glow effect, glowness. So what you wanna do is add a clipping mask, change that to color, right here. And you can then start adding your colors like that. Okay, then you add a blur, and you have all of those blends right there. Okay, so now I'm gonna go over the pattern brushes. Now these are mainly used for if you wanna do, you know, galaxy digital art, for printables, digital wallpapers, patterns, even stickers. I actually made these. Let me see if I can show you. Right here, this is something that I used with my leaf stamp, and I just did a galaxy over it, and I just made them into stickers. So this is just a fun way to do it, very easy. The pattern brushes. It's best to use your finger, and you're gonna color in your entire canvas like that. And then what you can do is, if you don't want the entire canvas, you can also size it down, you can move it around, things like that. So I'm just gonna keep it as my entire canvas to make it easy. Then what you want to do is, I'm going to just swipe and make sure it's on alpha lock, and I'm just going to start adding in my colors. So I'm going to use my basics monoline and just starting add all the colors I want for my galaxy. You have your colors, and then you just want to add a Gaussian blur to it. to blend them a bit. And then what you can also do is, if you wanted to, you could duplicate it, set it to multiply, and you see how that texture from the brush really comes through even more and it darkens it a bit. I might just bring down the opacity just a little bit, and then I'm just going to combine both layers. Then what I'm going to do is add a clipping mask, set it to overlay, and I'm going to do all of those texture stamps with the color black and white that we did with the lettering, just to add more galaxy effects to it. Okay, so once we have that, what we can do is also, I like to use my abstract filler brush. I'm going to add it on another clipping mask, and I'm just going to kind of draw a line. I think I'm just going to have it kind of go like this way. So I'm going to have it like that, and then add a blur to it. And that kind of gives more of like an effect of a galaxy. Then add another clipping mask, and this is when you can add all your stars and your comets. There you go. You have all the galaxy texture, stars, comets. Pretty easy. It only took less than 5 minutes. And I think it's just a fun way to do digital art. Okay, so another option, if you don't want the whole canvas, what you can do is draw a circle. You can use a shape stamp. Here I'm going to grab my watercolor shapes, and I thought it'd be fun. Let me show you my leaf one. So I'm going to stamp it on here. There we go. With this stamp, it does have the watercolor texture to it. So what I need to do is go to reference, open up a new layer, and then just color drop it in. I have it there. I'm going to delete that original image. Now what you're going to do is add another layer above it, and you're going to do the same thing with the galaxy pattern brush. So here, let's do the second one, pattern 2. Again, just use your finger, it's easiest. Only reason why is if you use your Apple Pencil, sometimes you might skip and accidentally lift up a little bit and it's going to overlap. So I find it's just easier to use your finger. So you have that. Now the trick is the pattern brush, it is, how can I explain? It has a little bit of a transparency to it. So whatever background you have, so say if we changed our background color to blue, it's going to change that, you see. So we always want a white background for it. So with that said, with your shape, you want to invert it or change it to white. Then on the galaxy pattern layer, you're going to hit clipping mask, and you see now it's on your shape. This is when you can hit the arrow button and you can just change the size of it and move around the pattern. And then you just want to keep doing the same. You want to alpha lock the pattern layer, and you can start adding your colors, your texture, and your stars. Another fun thing to do when you work with shapes is you can add a clipping mask to the top and set it to overlay, and with the color black, and you can even use the abstract brush. I want to go on a really kind of like a lower size. Yeah, let's go a bit lower and just go around the outside of your design. And I don't think this stayed on overlay. Let's see. No, it didn't. So you want to make sure you're on overlay. And then what you can do is add a blur, and it gives that even more texture to it. So this is without and this is with. So it gives more of like a galaxy effect. And that's basically it. This set is just made up of a bunch of lettering brushes and illustrating brushes, just to make it super easy, fun to create galaxy art in Procreate. You can find this on my website at myfancydesignshop.com. and also Creative Market. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I would love to help you out. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching this tutorial, and I'll see you next time.